According to YouTube statistics, only a small percentage of people that watch my videos are actually subscribed. So if you end up liking this video, consider subscribing. It's free, and you can always unsubscribe.
When I first got to the prison,
you talked about how bad the food was.
like criminally bad, where it's actually marked on the boxes, not for human consumption, feed use only, and then they're slapping it on the plates. I said, and excuse me, you may even want to edit this out. I said to one of the guards, I said, I've eaten ass that tasted better than this. That's how bad it was. Sorry.
I'm leaving that in.
Never actually said that out loud before.
Yeah.
And was there any other time in these years that you were questioning the ethics of the agency and the work you were doing?
No, I didn't question the ethics. And he actually drowned at one point. His heart stopped. And then they revived him.
Just so that they could torture him more.
In a very rapid succession, we caught some of the most important leaders of Al-Qaeda. We caught Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, who was the mastermind of the 9/11 attacks. He was waterboarded 100. Abu Zubaydah was 83 times up, and Khalid Sheikh Mohammed was waterboarded
187 times.
We used other techniques that I even believed were worse than waterboarding. We used one called the cold cell.
Where we stripped the prisoner naked.
And then chain him to an eye bolt in the ceiling so he can't sit or lay.
Or get comfortable in any way.
And we chill the cell to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And then every hour, a CIA officer throws a bucket of ice water on him.
We murdered 2 prisoners.
With that technique. They died of hypothermia, and then were just buried there on the grounds.
Unmarked.
And I start getting these hair on fire cables from the secret site saying, here's an address in Quetta. It's the big Al-Qaeda safe house. You have to go raid it. And we bust down the door in the middle of the night, and it's just some old lady living in her house. Then we get another hair on fire cable saying, there's a weapons cache, and it's buried next to this building in Peshawar, and here's the address. And we go, and it's a shish kebab restaurant. And we've got, metal detectors and ground penetrating radar, and there's nothing buried there at all.
Can you explain waterboarding for a moment?
Sure. So a prisoner is strapped to a board with his feet elevated compared to his head. There's something put in his mouth like material, a cloth, burlap, whatever, and then water is poured on his face. So it's supposed to give you the feeling that you're drowning. In fact, in many cases, you are drowning because a lot of water is getting past that cloth. In the case of Abu Zubaydah, and we can talk about him later if you want, we drowned him. His heart stopped beating, and he had to be revived so that he could be tortured more. That's what waterboarding is.
So he goes, okay, that's cool. Under what circumstances might you have done bestiality? And he says, well, sometimes when I fight with my wife, I get back at her by going out to the barn and buggering her horse. He goes, okay, all right. And when was the last time you might have done that? And, he gave a date. They escorted him out of the building. They took his badge, the whole thing.
So my boss calls me, and he says, have you seen the news? I said, no, I'm in the car. What news? And he says,
They were going to hit you the day that they hit Saunders.
I said, no, I'm so careful about my personal security. He said, no, they refer to you in the manifesto.
I said, what manifesto?
He said they just sent it to Gatimerini. No, it wasn't Gatimerini. El Efterotipia, the leftist paper. So I get in, and I'm reading it. Everybody's like gathered around me. And my boss says,
you gotta go.
Like right now.
Poor CIA. There's a former CIA guy working for the Russians. He may do some damage to the American government. Fuck the American government. What have they done for me? What have they done for my children?
Do you really
Besides violate my rights?
We are so over-criminalized, so over-regulated in this country that the average American, on the average day, going about his or her normal business, commits 3 felonies. Every day. You may not mean to, but you do, every day. So, if they decide they want you, they don't like your politics, they can get your metadata, they can go through that metadata, find crimes that they can charge you with, and ruin your life. And there's nothing you can do to protect yourself.
At the end of the conversation, I go back to the tavern keeper, and I said, He's a landlubber. I'd be 100% sure that he is. So then we started this conversation, the captain and I. How can we use that to our benefit? Did he drink whiskey? No. He drank, which was unusual for a dweller. How did you know he's a landlubber? No, I just, the sharks told me. Okay. So, the captain says, we want you to pretend to drink whiskey. I said, oh, come on, mateys. No, we might need the information. You gotta drink whiskey with him. And I said, okay, I'll do it. I'll do it for Captain Blackbeard.
Hey guys, thanks to all of our Patreon supporters. Even though TikTok isn't paying me, I just couldn't let go of making these memes sometimes, and this was like such a perfect idea. So me and my friend, even though we get $0 from this probably, we thought we will do this. I might have figured out a way so we can maybe get sponsored by some random companies, so don't be if we post some sponsored videos in the future so we can continue doing these. But yeah, that is only like one alternative. Otherwise, I have to see what I do in the future. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys in the next one.
Well, we don't allow the Israelis into CIA headquarters. We used to, but every time they would come, they'd say, hey, we brought gifts. Here's a gift for you. And it's all packed full of listening devices and batteries. And
every one of them?
Every one of them. And we'd say, you guys, you can't come back here every single time and try to bug our conference rooms.
What'd they say to that?
Oh, sorry. Well, we're not sure how that happened. So we're like, yeah, you can't come in here anymore. So we rent an office where we meet the Israelis off campus.
Wow.
Yeah, because you just can't trust them. So
that is so crazy.
We go to this briefing, and it's just two people. It's a woman who was the Mossad officer and an older guy who was the Shin Bet officer. So because we were all overt, we were giving our true names. And first, the senior political officer gives her briefing, and then the econ guy, and the military guy, and the oil guy, and finally it comes around to me. So I said, my name is John Kiriakou, and I'm going to brief you on Saddam Hussein's current psychology. And the Shin Bet guy goes like this. He goes, spell your name? So I spell it, and he writes it down, and he's looking at me over his glasses, and he goes, you are Jewish? And I said, I am not recruitable. Don't even think about trying to recruit me. Afterwards, I was furious. I went back to the office. My boss said, how did it go? I said, that son of a gun, Shin Bet guy tried to recruit me. Everybody started laughing. I said, why is that so funny? And he said, they've done that to every single one of us. It's like they can't help themselves.
It's crazy how effective it is, though.
Oh, yeah. Look at Jonathan Pollard. Now he's running for the Knesset. Bastard.
It's just crazy how much influence one country has.
So I walked over to Kofer's office to say, the driver's here. And his secretary had a little TV on her desk. Back in those days, you couldn't watch TV on your computer, right? So she had this little tiny TV. And one of the towers of the World Trade Center was on fire. I said, what happened to the World Trade Center?
And she said a plane flew into it.
And I always say, because I'm a genius, I said, you know what? That happened once before. In 1931, a plane flew into the Empire State Building, but it was really foggy and pouring down rain. I said, it's so crystal clear today. How can you not see that you're flying into the World Trade Center?
And as soon as the words came out of my mouth, the second plane hit.
And she turned to me and she said,
did you see that? Or did I imagine it?
And I ran back to my office and I said, guys, 2 planes just flew into both towers of the World Trade Center. I think we're under attack. I think this is what Kofer was talking about. So we all run into what was then called the bullpen. The main office back then of the Counterterrorism Center was this enormous room where there were private offices all around the perimeter of the room. And then everybody else sat in cubicles. Well, there were so many cubicles that we had to name the pathways. So it was like
Bin Laden Boulevard, Hezbollah Highway.
Right? We named one after George Tenet and one after a previous head of counterterrorism. So you could say, if you're meeting somebody, I'm at the intersection of Winston Wiley Way and Hezbollah Highway. And they would know where to find you.
As he got a little bit stronger, he wanted to talk. He cried a lot. He said he would never know the touch of a woman. He would never know the joy of fatherhood. I said, you're not the victim here. There were 50,000 people in those towers. Did you think we weren't going to look for you? Look for bin Laden? Try to kill him? What did you think was going to happen? And he said, I didn't want to attack the United States. He wanted to attack Israel. But he said there were others who were more important than me. My Arabic was absolutely flawless at the time.
And so I had a bushy beard that I grew for operational reasons.
Can I hear some of your Arabic?
Yeah. Tasharaf b'mariftak. It's nice to meet you. Or Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillah, Malik Yumadin, Rahman ar-Rahim. So I bought an Arabic newspaper and I went to the coffee shop and I just sat there. And sure enough, at 10 o'clock, the four of them came in. One of them looked at me and I looked at him, and that was it. We made eye contact. I did that for a week. The second week, I was there drinking my coffee, sitting with my Arabic newspaper, and the one who had looked at me the week before, he nodded. So I nodded back. That was it. No communication otherwise. The third week, I'm a regular now. He recognizes me. So he says to me, Salaam alaikum. I said, Wa alaikum assalam. May peace be upon you. And I say, and upon you peace. One day, he came in alone. And I said, Tafaddal, please have a seat. Sit with me. No sense in you sitting alone and me sitting alone. So he sat down. We started talking.